Something tells me you were a singer in a past life.
There's no lights on here. It's down, down, down.
So did you sing in a past life?
So what had happened
You
was,
said what happened was.
what had happened was, is so I started doing a lot of breath work and yogic breath work. And then like I would just like, in the car or whatever, you'd just be singing along. And then like suddenly I was like, the hell's going on here? Like my whole voice has changed from breath work.
Really? Like in a good way?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was just totally changed everything. And so I still have a few sticky points in my ribs that I'm still working out. So it's like more to come too, which is really cool.
Sticky points?
Yeah, so if you can't fully breathe in, fully breathe out, then you don't have full control of your breath. And if you don't have full control of your breath, then you don't have full control of your voice.
This is very science.
Yeah, yeah. But I have never studied singing or anything like that. It's all, I've studied some breathwork stuff.
Ah,
So we got the TikToks on. And now Angela, give us some, what
All
should we do
right,
here?
y'all, listen. Hey, y'all, hey. This is Sean Gilder and Michael Rix, and they're good friends of mine, and I have introduced them. And already, Sean has helped Michael Rix with a bunch of his health stuff, which is amazing. And
I'm confident that will help you.
and I really want to expand on that after, but y'all were singing in the car, and then they had this idea to come and just sing the song and watch it and then start a conversation about the world. And I say,
Yeah.
go for it and be friends and be merry and entertain us. And
When I heard this song first, I was like, that's the song of the season. But now I'm also a huge Tyler Childers, Coulter Wall, that type of. So this is like
right in
my
that genre.
right. This is my genre, right? So, and then what were your thoughts on this song when you first heard it?
Well, it's very, very raw. He's just singing and playing it as he's feeling it. He's not trying to keep up with a metronome or he's not trying to, you know, make a polished, highly
Right.
commercialized type style. He's just feeling what he's thinking and he's kind of, ranting, just kind of this and this and he's just kind of telling it straight.
Right.
So it's kind of different than, I'm a music artist for a living. So
Right.
it's what he's doing is actually against everything we're trained to do as artists and to really bring out the finesse and the smooth and the earworm and the candy of, sounding beautiful. So he's like, this is how I was feeling it. This is how I'm singing it. Here y'all go.
So if he were signed, this song wouldn't get out like this.
No, that was, yeah, the thing that was be very interesting. See, it's gone viral. It's been this, what actual human beings, not Billboard paying a record label to letting a record label bid for the number one spot on the Billboard chart. And Bobby Bones in here in Nashville went on a huge rant about how these songs get bid up to the number one slot on the chart.
yep.
And so he definitely
Payola.
payola in the USA.
Yeah.
So long story short, yeah, this song is definitely one of those songs that climbed up because real human beings liked it, listened to it, clicked on it, commented on it, and so yeah, it's definitely not what the commercial system for once not writing about pickup trucks or your dog or
Shaking it.
shaking it. He's writing about real, things that he's obviously experiencing and seeing around him. So he's being, painfully honest, actually.
You hear the pain in his voice. Yeah, so I thought it was really cool, and you thought it was.
Why don't y'all watch
All right, we'll watch. All right, let's do it. All right, here.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men know the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame.
So hold on, I gotta pause it just really quick to talk about a few of those lyrics, right? I mean, you heard 5'3", 300
pounds.
pounds. It's something about a bag of fudge rounds.
The government should not have to pay for your bag of fudge.
Taxes ought not to pay about your bag of fudge rounds. Yeah, I mean,
Hey, that's, I mean, if you want to make a song and make everybody mad, or at least make the people that, have a little bit of challenge with the pounds mad. So he definitely is just being brutally honest. What he's observing and seeing in the world. So at least in the United States, anyway.
and I mean, I see it out there. I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of unhealthy people everywhere.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yep.
You
I
know?
mean, yeah, a lot of unhealthy people in the United States, and we all know the obesity rates are not, way over where they should be, and so you talk about singing about things that are not happy things to sing in a song, but he's he's definitely not being shy about it and putting it out there.
And then the pain in his voice too, especially with the I'm trying to bring up the lyrics here now, with the old soul, with an old soul. But he just really shrieks it and like gets into distortion, gets in,
It's almost like he's howling out,
yeah.
this feeling of, kind of a, there's a blues element to the way he's singing it too, and he's just kind of, you know, very raw, very raw.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, but this is my type of music right here.
Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true,
Oh, it
but
is.
it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men know the rich men. Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they
that
don't
you
think
do.
you know.
The
I
dollar
know
ain't
that
shit.
you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men know the rich men.
I mean, how true. The dollar ain't shit because it's taxed to no end. I mean, it's like you think about it, you get taxed when you make it, you get taxed when you spend it, you get taxed when you sell something, you get taxed when you buy something. I mean, he's speaking a lot of truth here.
He's definitely not holding back. I give him, when I first heard the song, I thought, man, this dude is really raw. I'm used to hearing refined voices. I'm used to having worked myself to sound refined and sound skilled and sound smooth.
Right.
And he's, just kind of breaking all those rules
Yeah.
and just saying, hey, man, he said he started writing songs in 2021. I'll let you keep play the next part.
Okay. Yeah. Here's...
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
So he just got himself a better job too.
And I believe him when he's saying that he's been working a lot of
Hours,
hours with overtime pay, you know,
it's
for
something in
bullshit pay. Yeah.
bullshit pay because that means he must.
Yeah.
That company's like crap. We ain't paying him much. Now he famous. Crap.
So I looked it up. The most money he's ever made in his life, he said, was $12 an hour.
Oh man, he's that. I've been there. I've been there. That's and he's how old is he?
I don't know how old he is. Can you? How
I don't
old
know.
is?
I have a phone available.
Oh, no
Let me
phones
see. I'll look
available.
it up real quick while you're
I
going.
mean, he looks like late 20s.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing too.
The other thing about him too is he lives in a trailer that he bought off eBay
Oh
for
my
seven hundred
gosh.
dollars
Dang.
that has a tarp put on it to keep the water out.
Dang.
And he drives a Ford Focus with the fenders removed with big mutter tires.
I bet trying to drive through the mud.
Right. And it's functional, right? So this is
Yes.
a man that, is not does not have wealth.
Wow.
I mean, what a song. I think it's going to be the song of the season. I really think that it's going nowhere but up. I know he's got big offers for, big money. I'm sure everybody
He's
in this
31.
31, okay.
Yeah, the age I was when I moved to Nashville.
Okay. I'm sure everybody in this town is looking to sign him up.
Yeah, that's definitely John Rich jumped on that one. He said, "Listen, you guys, if like you were saying earlier, this song would have never seen the light of day had it been on radio or a major label." And he said, "You guys are now greedy, and your greediness is outpacing, as he said, your wokeness." And so now if the culture that all the labels and the news me everybody's like if somebody talks like this, oh, they must be super right wing, right? And so he's not being right wing. He's just singing what he's feeling and thinking. But the culture wants to name him this right wing work advocate, like culture, like the working man, kind of thing, where they can pawn it off and use it for what they want to use it off of. And John
Right.
Rich said, "Yeah, I see what you guys are doing. You want to sign this guy because he's making money and he could be a big cash cow. But if he was in any other situation, y'all wouldn't touch him." And so John Rich was really being very honest about that. And apparently, what were you saying? He happened with him some offer he got.
He turned down an $8 million record deal, which you don't know if it was 7 million to tour, 1 million for you, or 200 for you, or
Exactly.
what the stipulations. I mean, because these lawyers will get into lawyering, and that 8 million disappears real
Real
fast.
fast. I mean, in touring fees and merch fees and all the stuff that the label recoups
Right,
back from him going basically $8 million in debt. Now I
right,
wonder if now he turned down that deal,
right.
so now he'll get something good. Now he'll maybe get two or three, four or five offers, and
Yeah.
be able to sit down with his attorney and go this one, that one, not that one.
The one, just to circle back to the wing thing. This is a man that makes $12 an hour, lives in a shanty, lives in a trailer with the tarp on top. Exactly where is he right wing?
Well, I mean, and that's he's just a struggling American
Right.
trying to make ends meet, being 31 years old. Obviously, he hasn't probably even started a family yet, or maybe got married or had a girlfriend or whatever. And
Probably
he's
hasn't been on a date in years.
probably
If
with the
you
way
if you
this
have a
culture is.
if you have
Yeah.
a Focus with no fenders and a tarp on your roof,
Yes, there ain't no woman coming to see you.
yeah, he probably hasn't had a date in years. Like, and I'm
Well,
not throwing stones at him. He's a good-looking guy.
yes,
I'm just saying because of his situation,
he
he
probably
probably
wasn't the
hasn't had a
most.
date.
Yeah.
That's the realities of the world right now. Yeah, so that's appalling to me that he's being called right wing. And the only thing I mean, what, like, is it because he has a beard? Is it because he's playing
A dobro or
a
playing
dobro?
country music.
'Cause,
That's
where's
the
the right wing?
That's the right. Well, and that's the whole thing too, because he's talking about being overweight and the government giving you welfare and you're buying fudge rounds, right? And so if you're, if you are not smart and you think this world in the United States, especially, is a left or right thing, you know.
Amen.
So then you think, oh, he's over there tooting the horn for them people, and the other people are like, no, he's tooting the horn against us, and
So he's tooting the horn against fat people?
well, against the Democrat mindset, right? And then they're like, no, they're like, well, then if he's tooting against that, he's tooting for the Republican. The funny thing is, I bet you Democrats and Republicans both like this song, straight down the middle. Americans across all kinds of life experiences. I've seen black people on YouTube talking about this song. I've seen every kind of news organization. I've seen everybody talking about it. So it obviously ain't this one against that one. It's just people talking about, hey, life is hard.
Right. Yeah. And just because of the economic situation that he's in, you would think that he would be left wing, because left wing is
Left wing is
should be the party
that would lift him up, that would
Right.
help him. Yeah.
right. So very just peculiar to see that to come out, and saddens me a little bit, but not surprising either.
Not surprising, trying to borrow his success and his name recognition, for the sake of whatever their agenda that they want to.
There. So I think then why the left wingers or the big machine, the three-letter agencies, or the are accusing him of being right wing, is because there's a lot of truth in that song, and they don't want that truth to get out. So they're trying to get ahead of it and demonize this guy to their clan, saying that oh, he's right wing. Don't listen to that song.
Yes.
That's a right winger.
That's a right-wing
so. I mean, don't even listen to it. Don't, and definitely don't look up the lyrics.
Exactly.
So and I just, I think it's right now everybody's struggling. Blue people, red
Red
people,
people, black people,
white
Asian
people, everybody's struggling
Hispanic,
right now.
Native American,
Right.
Latino people.
So
Yes.
it's kind of like that shot to discount him, I think, is gonna backfire.
Big time, big time. That's and it's part of the big backfiring when the mainstream media or the mainstream narrative creators,
Yeah.
when they're the ones that are like they pick these topics, and you go in the mall and people are saying, what they're talking about and what they're saying we're talking about on TV and on social media by the newsmakers, the average person is not talking about that. The average person is talking about life, talking about their friends, talking about, they're trying to celebrate a wedding, celebrate a new baby being born. Somebody got a new job, somebody got a promotion, somebody graduated from high school.
Right.
Like, people are talking about that stuff, and trying to solve conflicts in their own lives. They're not getting up every day and saying, let me put my mind on this and follow this whole thing. So it's all, when these news organizations know that they're in the process of dying, they're in the process of losing to the streaming apps and the different broad ways that everybody gets information. They no longer have the monopoly
Right.
on it.
Yeah, they can't just set the narrative and then have the narrative be, because nobody tunes into them. I mean, the percentage, what is it? Like, I think CNN's like highest rated show is in the hundreds of thousands of views.
Literally.
Where you have Rogan with like 15 million per.
Speaking of Rogan, he tweeted this out.
Yeah,
he was
he
one of the
Instagrammed
first.
it out.
Yeah, he Instagrammed it. I went and looked. He sent it out on both platforms.
Yeah, and I had seen it before Rogan sent it out. When I saw that Rogan sent it out, I was not surprised at all, because the song hit me right away. And so and Rogan's a big Coulter Wall fan too.
Ah, okay.
And he's been trying to get Coulter on his podcast for a long time.
Very interesting.
But Coulter is in the mountains of Montana ranching,
I see.
so he's unavailable for Joe.
He could Zoom. He could
Yeah,
Zoom.
well, no, but
You know he
you
got
gotta
internet out there
you gotta go live in person to be on.
on Rogan.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rogan. Yeah, so anthem of the season, maybe the year. I hope that it sparks conversations.
Why don't
Yeah.
y'all sing it together?
Well, we're gonna try to here in in a second. Try to learn it
Yeah.
here. We know most. The kind of the general gist of it. I'm inspired to see him uh, definitely get a better place to live and a better car and uh,
Yeah.
and a better life experience and start playing his music, and congratulations on him getting out there and telling his story, and and to the fact that we're in many of us are in very similar circumstances, going through many different of the same challenges, and we're not being separated by our color and our creed and our gender and our as the media tries to take away our humanity and make us all different, like we don't all sleep and don't all eat and don't all feel sad or feel depressed or feel suicidal or depressed or whatever. This whole song, it's a mental health conversation. He's literally
Yes.
telling you where he's feeling and what he's going through and what is the angst that he's feeling. So this is a song is that everybody's like saying, yeah, I feel this.
Yeah.
So that's what we need. This is what we need to bring us together, to get us to communicate, to hope for one another, to help for one another. Stop thinking your neighbor is not human because he voted for that guy and he voted, and then your other neighbor voted for the other guy, and thinking all that crap about when you're not born with no label of a party on your freaking head. You were born naked in your mother's arms. If you hopefully had a mother and she had arms, Lord Jesus, that hopefully
You'd hope.
there's that there was love around you, and that's what matters. you
Yeah.
know
And I don't, I mean, we're, you know, I'm obviously not a black person, but I'm kind of like tired of hearing about racism all the time.
me too.
And because even if it were true to the level that it's being projected down to us as it is, you don't want a black person to think that they can't be anything they want to be.
Absolutely.
There's been a black president.
There's been a black president. There's been a black first lady. There's been black kids that lived in the White House and went to school. We've had black Michael Jordan, black Oprah, black Magic Johnson, black Tiger Woods,
Black Jesus?
black everywhere.
Black Jesus,
black,
Michael Jordan.
black Jesus.
You know,
Yes,
I mean,
we had black comedian. We really.
the most beloved people of society in America have been black. I mean, there's also beloved white people,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
there's absolutely beloved black people. So I just think it's time to just shut up. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want
love
to
it,
hear
I
about
love
it
it.
anymore.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I know that's probably something I shouldn't say being white,
No.
but if you project on someone that they're going to have a problem because of the way that they look, they
Yes.
go into some place, they're buying a coffee, the barista gives them some attitude, then they think the barista's racist.
Totally.
What if the barista was having a bad day?
What if they were having a bad day? Yes.
Has nothing to do with the skin.
It doesn't have any. Well, evil is in the heart of all people. Love is in the heart of all people.
Right.
Being a criminal, it can be in the heart of anybody. Being
Yeah.
being mean or being bitter or being angry or having unforgiveness or being bitter somebody because they hurt you and you've been vengeful at them for the last 10 years. That can be in the color of anybody's heart. Like that can be in a gay person heart, LBGQ, whatever place that you find yourself in life. That can be in anybody's heart. Love can also be in anybody's heart. So this, I'm a black banjo player in Nashville playing country music.
Woohoo!
I was always too black to be white and too white to be black. I was, I could never go with the kids in the hood in the hip hop world. and I could never quite fit in with the white kids in the cornfields,
Mm-hmm.
in the out in the rural area. I grew up out in the boondocks, out in the country as a
Mm.
kid. So,
And whereabouts?
northern Indiana, Noble
Oh
County.
yeah, you told me that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And where did you grow up?
Northwest side of Chicago.
So you're Midwest too. It's very country, and it's northern. So it was still a little different than being down here in the South and the country. But I mean, the country's the country. The thing
Mm.
about it I loved is we had a big family. I had 5 sisters, 3 brothers.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
saw white people blessing us all the time. I didn't know until I moved to the inner city that there was this conflict called racism. My parents mentioned it briefly and taught me about black culture, but I didn't, all I saw was white and black people behaving. People in the mall, people at the bank, people at the grocery store, people at,
Mm-hmm.
the church, people at, basketball game, football game. Like all I saw was black people and all kind of people, colors, all acting right. Nobody's trying to go to jail.
Yeah.
Nobody was slapping each other, fighting, and
Yeah.
you're an N-word or anything like that. Everybody was behaving and acting cool.
Yeah.
And so, I remember coming home from church and seeing like big bags of snap beans and corn and squash and different things. And these were people that saw that we had big families in the towns we lived in, and they would, out of the kindness of their heart, drop groceries on our front porch. And these
Nice.
were the white people that did this. I remember many times we had cars that were not good vehicles, and more than once somebody blessed us with a used car that they no longer needed, and these were white people that did this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the racism in this country and the cases where it was decided by law and everything. All those people were white that had the muscle and the means to fight those cases and vote things into law and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those were white people, man.
And
So
and the other thing too, it's like, I feel like the United States has all this hate for racism. I just want to point out this was the second country in the world to abolish it. The second out of 193. Okay? And the first to abolish it was the one that started the slave trade. So, okay, but the second. So
yes,
let's like, something to kind of not celebrate, but at least acknowledge.
acknowledge and there was a black historian I saw on Instagram, and he was talking about that these African people, and you can look this up, went
Hmm.
into Europe or went to where there was a large segment of white people and enslaved them for, I don't know, a great deal of time.
Hmm.
And he said if you measure what the United States did to blacks, he says when you look at what blacks did to whites during that period of time, it was 10 times longer and worse
Hmm.
than what was done here to blacks.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas, so okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. And then I'm ethnically Irish. The Irish were enslaved brutally, So, it's not a color thing.
It's not a color
It's not a
thing.
color thing. It's a human thing. Some humans, to gain an advantage will enslave people.
Yes.
And you know, even Indians, indigenous Indians, if they were to, encounter another tribe and they're stronger, smash them, enslave them.
Yeah. This is a
It,
human thing.
it's not a color thing. It's a human thing, and so I'm tired of hearing it. It's detrimental for kids to hear that the deck's stacked against them because it's not.
Yes, and you may live in a certain community where you may be experiencing certain disadvantages, and it
Hmm.
might be like this guy here.
Right.
He sounds like a black dude in the hood.
Well,
His except his problems are country problems because he has a trailer and he has mud tires and a tarp on.
mhm.
But it sounds like poverty to me.
Right. I think that some of the propagandists, let's call them, they do not want poor white people and poor black people to figure out that this this race stuff is stupid. We're experiencing the same thing.
Well,
It's a money thing.
it's a money
It's a
thing.
have and have not thing. It's a burgeoning caste system that
Yes.
is happening in this country. And I think it's tired and old and time to move on
It's
from it.
time to move on. I'm a great deal Native American. I also, if you look at close up, I've got freckles.
Hmm.
There's Irish people in my family on my dad's side. There's very light skinned women on my dad's side that have big Irish red afros. If you were to see my dad, he's your complexion. I'm a good part Cherokee and African American, so I'm all the colors.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show. Now, listen, people say, "Well, you said you don't see color." Well, what I'm saying is, I see your color. I celebrate your culture. I celebrate your Irish heritage. I celebrate, whatever heritage that you have and your nationality, and or maybe you don't even know what your nationality is, but we celebrate whatever your ethnic and things that make you are. But we don't say, well, that's all you are. We define you by your humanity. You have. I always say you have civil rights, to protect you from racism or whatever, bigotry or whatever to anybody because of your human rights. Your human rights give you the those things first. So above all, the reason why murder is evil is because it's human against human. No, not because of your color. Now, thank God you have your color and your hair and all your skin and all the things that make your culture what you are. But we're not against your culture because we say we don't see your culture or I don't care what color. It doesn't mean
Right. It's not an against thing.
No.
It's just like it's not what's important about you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, this country's been here for a long time. Every color could have grown up in the same area together, and the color is less relevant than the block. The block that you grew up on is more relevant than your color.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's just dumb. That's why I said I'm just tired of hearing about it. You know,
Oh,
we went.
Morgan Friedman said the way to end racism is to stop talking about it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
and we did a lot of talking about it. If you know your history in the late '60s, and I'm sure you do, and it's like I feel like, it's come back around again.
Yes, it's in it. That's the thing in this country. You have to keep resurrecting it, keep bringing it back up, keep teaching the generation that comes up, not thinking and rehashing old wounds,
To keep the
right?
division.
To keep the division, and it's kind of like if you and me had some kind of disagreement and we hash it out, we figure it out, we say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, I did my thing. Yeah, you say, I'm sorry, I did my part. And then 2 years later, I come like, you remember that thing you did? And
Oh, no,
that's
no, no. It would be like 2 years later, someone else comes in and go, "Did you hear what Sean said about you at the bar?"
exactly.
That's what's happening. And
Yes,
then it's
yes.
like, what do you say? And then you get with me, and I'm like, I didn't say that, but you're still so. It's stupid.
And then we're in the
Then
on
we're
YouTube and
arguing again.
TikTok's vice
Right,
fisticuffs.
and that's what I feel is happening again, and it's just like, shut up. Like, I think we're, like
Yes,
Sowell says, or Morgan Freeman, the easiest way to get rid of it is stop
to
talking
stop
about it.
talking about it.
So
And
the point is, this guy's not right wing.
he's not right.
If he's any wing, he'd be closer to left wing because he's making $12 an hour,
Exactly.
lives with a tarp over his, and no fenders on
And
his
no
car.
fenders. He probably doesn't have health insurance. Who knows how many miles is on that car. And like, man, that's a hard life.
Yeah.
You know,
And I do have to say, there's no fenders on the car because he's got these really cool Mutter tires, and he probably lives in the country, and that's important. So, but it's just kind of cool what he did to the car. I have to say, being a car person, I think it's kind of cool. So we've never played music or sang together or anything. So we're just gonna see what happens and try to cover this song. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in a new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they want to have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich man, north the rich man. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and these obese milking welfare. Well, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. But just wake up and it not be true. But it is, oh it is, living in a new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich man, north the rich man. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay. That was cool. I'm lost on some of the lines in there, like where is it? That Lord knows they want to just all have total control. I don't have that. I don't know what he does with that section of the song, but
Hey, I mean, I think you did it pretty good.
Yeah.
I would have been stumbling much worse. I
Yeah.
got the music fairly close to where I could, keep up with it.
Well, people always see you and they think 'cause you're so regal and so poised with your yoga man body. That when you bust out, you got a big smile on your face and you're singing. They're like, "Who is that?"
oh.
Like, wait, what?
Hey, I'll be smiling if if there's jokes or something.
That's so good. That's what I like. I personally like about this song is the camaraderie, because it's like when you open up your windows, like that movie "I'm So Damn Mad" Network or whatever it's called. Where it's like, I'm mad as hell. I'm not gonna take it anymore. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was from the late 60s,
Yeah.
and that's what's happening again today. And I think this has a shot at being the anthem of it. And,
It is.
what about, this line here? Living in a new world, like we are right now, because people are awake to see what's happening, through the power of these things.
Well, and it's
And people have got to be reminded. That's why I love hearing y'all's talk, because that it is the manipulation of the media run by perpetrators that's
Yeah.
going to try to switch that around and make people not listen and point out some one lyric about and say it's fat shaming or what I mean, and like totally distract and distract.
And they want to know what you think, want to know what you do, because they don't think you know, but I know that you do. Why so much effort to have this control? Because they know that they've bullshitted us.
yes.
So the fact that they are trying to track us so much is all we need to know.
Yes, yeah.
So
Turn your TVs off.
yeah,
Turn your devices off. Live in the real world. Sit up and look around you. Like, if I took that TV and I started walking down the street and I strapped it on, and I had like content playing on it, right? And anytime I came to a stoplight, I'd pick that TV up and turn it around so I could stand there and hold it like this. You'd be like, "What is that fool doing?"
and that's what's happening.
If I was walking
what's
down the
happening.
beach holding the TV, right? Walking down get on the bus and bump somebody and knock somebody's coffee out of their hand holding the TV. And it's like, today in the news, and I'm holding the TV and like, turn
Yeah.
that thing down, man, because
Yeah.
it's what this that's what these devices are, man. They're like TV handheld
Yeah.
TVs,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And you see everybody walking down the street and they're holding their TV,
Yeah.
just
You can't strike up a conversation with a lady if you want to because they're all engrossed in their phone, and then because of these things, no one is prepared to have a human interaction. When you bump into someone, no one's prepared because they're just prepared to look at this thing.
to look.
Well, I'd like to throw something in. Instead of saying the what we're not doing, what can we do? Because we are getting prepared. We are being aware. People are waking up, not woke. We're waking up.
Yeah.
And you're helping people get healthy. I'm healthier just by knowing you. And by being healthy, we all become more aware, and we become really a new world.
Yeah.
So what do we do now?
Well, I think it's important to remember that everything is just a tool. You know, a garden tool can kill somebody, or it can grow, you
grow
food.
food, yeah.
You know, so these things are just a tool. So, you know, it's how you use this tool. You know, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to be hateful? Are you going to victimize yourself? Are you going to use it to tap into all the reasons why you're not successful, or are you going to tap into it to figure out how you're going to be successful?
Are you going to sing a song about how everybody's struggling and bring everybody together with your song and record it on your iPhone in the woods next to your hunter's blind? I think that's what he's standing next to, with your dog in the grass,
Yeah.
and make something that is so riveting and so engaging that people are like, you know what, bringing, because if you look at all these podcasts that have popped up, it means everybody's having conversations. It means people are starting to talk to one another and actually dialogue about, we have this cancel culture. If you say this wrong thing, you say that, you get canceled. Well, if you look at all the podcasts, the canceling ain't working, because everybody's just making another podcast, and more people are getting together in groups and talking, and more people getting in groups and talking, and then everybody's listening on their device that they listen to, and then more people are getting together and talking. So that's one of the things that we're doing to fix the problem, to reach out and to talk about the toxicity of our food, talk about the what we're eating and drinking, what we're doing to our mental health, what we're doing with suicide, what we're doing with families and complications and divorces, and resolving conflict, and actually realizing you face the same demons I face. You might face them for different reasons, but we all fight the things that the human race fights. We all fight for the same battles. And at any day, I might walk up to you, and if you're in a bad mood, and you're not mad at me because I'm black, you might be, but the truth is, I can have a kind answer, and I might be able to keep you from, being violent, or being violent to yourself, or, or maybe you find out something about me, and then I put a smile on your face, and then next thing you know, we're friends and we're going fishing or something.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah, and acknowledge the people when you pass by them. Give them a nod, give them a good day. Say hello.
Yeah.
These first steps. Get that thing out of the front of your face. Don't walk
Yes.
around with the TV on. And then start to talk. Start to talk to the people in line around you. That used to happen all the time. Now
Yes.
everybody's in their phone when they're in line. And connection is the biggest thing to not have depression. And depression, like, first of all, no one should identify as being depressed. That's stupid. You can have a depressed mood, but you don't take that and identify as I have depression.
In other words, define yourself and name yourself
Right.
psychologically as being always subjected to depression.
Right.
In other words, you have as if you have no way out, as if there's
Right.
no other way for you to define yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if that's just dumb, because you don't want to pull that into your identity.
You don't want to pull that, yeah. And
Right.
and it's like when a coach coaches you from feeling like a loser, feeling like a victim, feeling like you can't shoot the ball or do whatever the play is requiring. And he coaches you into a mindset where you don't call yourself depressed or a loser or the guy that can't shoot on the team or the guy that can't pitch correctly.
Right.
And he builds your mindset to where you developed the I can be a healthy person. I can be the guy that makes the team, does well on the team, go from, like Michael Jordan, cut from, I forget what
Freshman.
for freshman
He didn't
year.
make his he didn't make his first attempt at becoming a basketball player in his high school. He didn't make it.
Wow, I mean he wasn't, he didn't have the ability to take over games when he was first in the NBA. He was always very athletic and very skillful.
Actually, he did. I'm from Chicago, and he was a monster as soon as he laced him up in his first season. But
No, but his ability grew. He kept evolving. He kept working out. He kept, he even took a timeout after his dad was,
Yeah.
brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And then, he came back and he won even more. You know?
yeah, double three-peats.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that slowed Michael down was his ankle injury in his second year.
Ah.
Other than that, he was, all NBA, all-star first team. And then, when he was 40, he played the whole season with an MCL tear, which
Holy
is just
Jesus.
amazing. And he still averaged 20 points a game. And that's why they call him Black Jesus. I'm just going to briefly circle back. That's why it's so dumb to victimize yourself because of the color that you are.
Yes. Yes.
The most beloved people in this country have been black and white.
Well, and to the testament of whatever oppression was there, if you think about it this way, while the evil was yet happening, and Africans in Africa were selling other Africans to our white brothers and sisters, who then brought them into the United States and enslaved them. Then the sorrow and the struggle and the pressure and the grief created the blues, which created so much more of what we have culturally, right? And then ultimately you see the Irish and the black and the different styles of music mixing together. We see the athletes we have, we see the music we have. If those evils hadn't come here with the good, and eventually the good triumph over the evil, eventually we would see, it's like, listen, if y'all had left Oprah's descendants alone, we wouldn't, but y'all didn't. But then when the good was overcoming the evil, it produced Oprah. When the good overcame the evil, it produced Michael Jordan. When the good overcame the evil, it produced Martin Luther King. It produced Magic Johnson. It produced Tiger Woods. So, even if you look at the things that happened in history that were terrible, ultimately, when the victory and the good and the hope and the love and the joy and the faith and all the good things that are really in the heart of people, that when they're given a chance to shine, come out, guess what happened? Guess what happened? So, you know what? If the black people hadn't come here, we wouldn't have had what we have today.
And
So,
and if you do the math on how many people had to live and die for us to be here.
yes.
So at some point in both of our histories, someone had gone through some real troubles, because humans have been here for a long time.
Yes.
So, it's, we've all been through it. I think that with all of the flaws that America has, it's still a mighty fine place to be.
Oh my goodness. I mean, everybody's staying here that I know that, you can go to other countries, but I think the United States probably has it pretty damn good. You look at the innovations and the businesses and the inventions and the things that are created in this country. We're probably 10 times more creative than so many other countries, and in a lot of ways, though there might be creativity in other countries, it's so much easier to launch things and start businesses and start things in this country. And
I'm glad you mentioned that about the creativity, because the creativity comes from freedom of thought. If you don't have freedom of thought, so if you are afraid to speak, you start to lose your thought. So all of this cancel culture stuff is an assault on thought. what makes America great is that there's so many thinkers here because of the First Amendment, the right to free speech. That is the right to free thought.
Yes. It's
So
yeah.
let's applaud the brand that is the United States of America.
Yes.
This is what has given us this freedom of thought, and let's cherish it and not let anybody take it away. And so this cancel culture stuff is stupid. Everyone, if you take a sound bite from, if you chop up your entire life, if somebody followed you with a camera and for your entire life, you're in a bad moment, pissed, late, not fed, thirsty. Somebody takes a sound bite from you, chops off the front of the sound bite, the back of the sound bite. Now you sound like an asshole. That's not fair,
No, not at all.
you know. And then people are getting canceled for that very thing.
Oh yeah.
I want so much free speech because I want to know what type of person I'm dealing with. Let everyone tell me everything, and then I can find out if they're an asshole, if they're authentic, if there's somebody I want to be friends with, if there's somebody I don't want to be friends with. But if they're afraid to speak, then I don't know.
Well, if
They
you're
could be a closet Irish racist or a beardist. They don't like people with a beard or long hair. You know, they're judging me. I mean, that's real. You know, somebody could be judging me. A lot of people think I'm liberal because of the way that, you know, and they'll start talking to me about some crazy ideas. And I'm like, well, actually, that sounds pretty crazy, bro. You know what I mean? So, you know, you want that free speech. Like, let's not cancel anybody. Let's let everyone speak. And then, you know, that allows us to see who everyone is.
Well, when you look at this device, right? This is an iPad,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is one of the latest generation iPads. You know, this iPad has parts in it that are named, right? This is a conglomeration of words.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody says, well, if you take this word and take that's named this part, and you name this part, and you name this part, and you put it in here, and you manufacture it, and you take it to this part, to this country, and you tell them with your words how to put it together, and you put it in a manual, and you put it on a disk or on a computer, and you assemble it together, and then they say the words, and then they make the cover for it, and they make this pencil, and then all those words made this device.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if somebody says, well, you can't speak, you can't think, you can't talk, well, guess what? There's no innovation or invention.
That's not made. And there's a reason why that came out of this country. You know, there's a reason why the internet came out of this country. It's because freedom of thought comes from freedom of speech. So cancel culture, we got to cancel culture.
And you know what? You can't cancel the truth.
No. You can't hold a good song down either.
You can't hold us a good song down. And he's in that song telling the truth.
Right.
And they said, we're going to cancel that kind of talk. Well, y'all couldn't cancel it, could y'all?
They're trying. They're labeling him right wing. I'm sure there's going to be a video of him like doing something that's going to be deemed racist, you know,
Or
like they did
something.
with Morgan Wallen, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
I mean, maybe they'll catch him like rapping a song and he says the N-word and they'll chop out the song and then just leave. I mean, they're going through this man's life with a fine-tooth comb right now. And so another thing, let's, you know, give space for being juvenile. Maybe he said something when he was 14 years old that is not inappropriate, but let's just say lack of understanding, lack of maturity, something that you wouldn't want to expect from a grown man.
Sure.
But let's remember that he's a child, you know?
Yes.
You know, so it's like people that go back through like tweets 10 years ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then-
They're
and
just
then-
looking for it.
yeah.
I mean, the truth is, we've all said stuff. We've all been angry. We've all had
Yeah.
moments that we weren't proud of. And
Yeah.
if those moments were captured, you know, especially from when we were kids, and they didn't have this technology, so if you know, well, there's all kinds of stuff that would never see the light of day.
Yeah.
But with the way our culture has tried to take these words and take them out of context and things, I always tell people it's high time as a black artist and as a black musician and entertainer. It's high time to cancel the N word. It's high time, and I tell people, when you hear that N word, if I were to go in the hood right now and I were to walk on the street and I'd put on, you know, clothes that were, you know, considered inner city, and I'd walk up to them and, you know, some dudes on the corner, and maybe they're in a gang and everything, and I say, hey, what's up, my N?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, who the F are you, right?
Yeah.
And then they would proceed to see if I'm shooting, killing, drugging, sleeping, murdering, doing every evil work under the sun. And if they perceive that I am, then and only then would I be their in, right? I'd be one of them, one of their in. So when another black person calls somebody in the black community and in, guess what they're saying? They're saying, listen, you and me are down with drugging, sleeping, killing, murdering, and every other thievery, wicked, evil thing that brings the black community thing down. Things that, President Barack Obama ain't in the street thugging, right? Michael Jordan ain't in the street thugging. Heck, 50 Cent and Snoop, they ain't in thug. Even Jay-Z, he's
They
sitting.
came from it. All three of those people came from it.
Well, and
But they're not anymore
they ain't
because they
anymore.
got some money.
They got some money
And
and-
they got a nicer house. And,
and they eventually, had to leave behind the murdering. Otherwise, they would be a statistic.
so you're saying leave behind the N-word.
It's time to leave behind the N word, and it's time for us to take responsibility as African Americans in the black community for teaching our white brothers and sisters to say this word. And for us, when they say, "Oh, you can't say it," it's like, no, we were saying it to ourselves. We were cursing it ourselves. If the the Ku Klux Klan and the hate culture of the South in that era was, the white slave owners and stuff were calling that stuff. Why would, when they were telling us that, they were telling us, you're low, you're trash, you're worthless, you're nothing, your humanity is meaningless. Why would then we turn around, first of all, absorb that saying over ourselves and believe that and take that on as our identity, and then go and call our other black brothers and sisters that word, and then tell our white brothers and sisters we can also call each other this. So why would in the world would we take their language and perpetuate it in our music, in our clothes, in our commercials, in the the sitcoms and the TV shows and the videos and the media that we put out there as black community? We have to cancel the N word. And we can't tell the white brothers and sisters you can't say that until we clean it up and we say, no, we need to stop this word. We need to stop talking to each other in this way. And then when one of our black brothers and sisters say it, we say, well, we're the ones that taught you to say it. So now it's on us to remove that word from our culture.
I mean, I grew up in Chicago. I mean, I knew every word to The Chronic by Dr. Dre. I didn't know what any of the words meant, but I knew every word to The Chronic, in 1991, 1992, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And there's a lot of people growing up today that don't know every word of whatever is hot today,
It's hot today, yeah.
and yeah, but I understand the history of it. I also think that I'm hesitating saying this, but I think that also it's important to recognize to not give your power away to a word.
Absolutely.
If somebody says something to you and it's a word, don't give your power away to a word. And I know there's a lot of there's a lot of problems, but all that exists is the present moment.
Yes.
So don't do something stupid over a word. And I think that's great, to try to be a proponent to remove it from the vernacular. Yeah, I mean, I don't go around saying, "What's up, my honky?" Like,
That was really funny if that became a thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, yes, and that's the thing. It's time. It's time. We got these internet. We've got all these devices and this technology, and and then we get on TikTok and everything, and then we go on Thanksgiving and we can't even talk to each other. We have all this advancement and we didn't get better. We got all these things and we didn't get more kind and more genuine and more loving and more beautiful.
well, one of the sticks and the spokes of that is cancel culture, because everybody's afraid to talk to everybody because nobody wants to say the wrong thing, and so that's why I think it's just don't let words have that much power. You go into a situation believing that people are good. Show your best face so you'll get the best face back. If you're walking down a dark alley and somebody is coming at you that makes you fearful, if you start to cower and you start to, act like they're going to do something, you're more likely to have something done to you.
True,
If you
true.
say good day or good evening or, hello, and look at who's coming towards you, and treat them with respect, and, you're more likely to have a better outcome. Cynicism has no place, because in the present moment, being cynical will do nothing but harm you. And if you are cynical, you are training yourself for the present moment to be cynical.
Yes, that there's no good in the present moment.
Right.
Only the ever potential outcome of something terrible,
Right.
or at least mildly and continuously annoying.
Right.
That there's no joy to be had in the present moment. Well, oh, there's a dead in Texas. Like there's nothing right, like if you learn the tax code, you can beat the taxes. So the cynicism will make you stay in ignorance. It'll make you say, "Oh, we're just conditioned to darkness and death every day. Well, it's just gonna be another sad day, another dollar, another piece of you know what." Just that whole. It always brings you down.
And when you're in that state, you've given away your power to someone else, and you're making money for someone else, and you're not living your dream.
Yes. Yeah, it's time to give take back our power, take back our hope, take back our joy. Uh, to stand up and look around you, look at the mall, look at the store, look at the grocery store, look at the bank, look at people in church, look at people standing on the corner. I see everybody being good.
Mm-hmm.
I see people in the restaurant behaving. I don't see the black people and the white people fight. I see the black server giving the white man a drink and he didn't dump it on him.
Mm-hmm.
I see the white girl giving the black girl a smoke. If you still smoke, I ain't mad at you if you still smoke. Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I see people interacting at the bank, at the,
Mm-hmm.
wherever. Everybody's helping. Everybody, I don't see nobody trying to go to jail. I don't see nobody trying to get in trouble and get in a fisticuffs and get put on TikTok and get viral and make something crazy. Everybody's trying to behave.
And the people that are perpetuating this narrative, they're in, coastal cities on Twitter or X now, you know, and some of, they're not living it. They're not out there, but they're perpetuating this narrative.
And
And
that's the small speaking for
right.
and then yeah.
And furthermore, if you look at, what percentage of people are doing crime, it is very small.
It's very small, and social media these TVs in our hands, right? This constant stream of video activity makes us think that there's all this whirlwind of insanity coming at us like a freight train, a water hose the size of a freight train, and it's not. It's really just being if we're on it and it's continually being thrown at us and projected onto us, and then we think that that's reality. We think that that's really what life is really doing. And I don't, and so then everybody gets up and says, "Well, it's everywhere. It's everywhere." No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's just in the device. It's in the TV, and they're telling you, no, it's everywhere. And they're going to perpetuate this stuff in such a way where we feel completely surrounded and engulfed.
It's a profitable narrative. So that's the narrative that we're getting on our tiny face screens, and put that thing down, say good day to people or good evening to people, and turn this song up too.
Turn up this.
Turn this song up and make sure everybody hears it. Make it the anthem of the year.
Absolutely. I think he will continue to grow as an artist and as a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be interesting to see what if he ends up recording it with anybody, and maybe how he kind of takes it from the raw acoustic way to what he ends up doing with the instruments and stuff around it, and just goes to show you that we're not as far apart as you think. A song like this being talked about all over the country. Seems to me we're kind of all seeing some of the same challenges and same experiences. We're all seeing our humanity is a whole lot alike, and we got a lot more to celebrate and believe in with one another.
Yeah.
That's something we can do.
Yeah.
Amen.
Speaking of turning it up, you want to have a crack at that? You want to go? You want to do it? I'll stay mostly quiet, or maybe if or I don't know.
I'll give it a shot. It's interesting because I'm like, man, I sing different, so I don't know. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna try. Let me try at least the verse and the chorus.
Yeah.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag it back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like you and people like me. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. But it is. That's about as good as I can do.
That was smooth, man. No, that was smooth. If you did yeah, that was smooth. You had a smooth voice.
Well,
Really.
thanks, bro. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's tricky, isn't it? There's some tricky points. You're like, how do I wedge this into, when you're looking at the lyrics, how do I wedge this into where I'm supposed to put it?
All right, Dan, to his credit, he's kind of improvisationally, dropping the chords in there, and then he'll say a few words, and then he'll sing another set of lines. He's not overcomplicating it or making every word drop on the beat. Dun 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 dun. The word with the beat. He's like singing it as he feels it and kind of just feeling it. Which is kind of more in tune with the tradition of the blues, really. And people ask me what kind of guitar that is. That the guitar he's playing with, the round resonator, much like the banjo here, it's like a dobro.
Yeah.
And that's and so usually that's played like this with a slide, but he's playing it more like a guitar, and getting kind of that unique tone instrument wise that he's getting. But yeah, it's that's he's to his credit, kind of how he's singing it in kind of the blues tradition to some degree.
So Michael, since we have you here, do you have can you play us
Oh.
a song?
Sure.
You
Hell yeah.
I don't know, give a song that sums some things up for us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sing a song, Michael.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me. And my name is Michael Rix, and thanks, Sean, for having me
Thank
on.
you, man. Really appreciate
And
you.
this is
coming by.
really our first actual significant conversation other
Yeah.
than dinner today.
Yeah, we met, a few times.
That's
but-
true. That's true.
Yeah, but just we didn't really have it was more like
You met through
good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, it was
You
about it.
met through Angela's show.
She's
Yeah.
here in the room helping us
Yeah.
do this podcast here, so she's kind of manning the technologies, womaning the technologies.
Humaning the
Not
technologies.
calling me a bonus hole. Thanks.
Humaning the technologies.
So speaking of searching, situations and circumstances that bring us together, this song is called "Don't Let It Get the Best of You." We've all been down for the count. We've all been done wrong sometime. We've all got days that we'd like to erase, but you can't turn back lost time. No, don't let it get the best of you now. Don't let it get the best of you. Nah. Na 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 na. We've all missed out. We've all messed up. But you still got time to change. See your face in the mirror. See your fears and your doubts. We can all turn the page somehow. No, don't let it get the best of you now. Don't let it get the best of you. Don't let it get the best of you. Don't let it get the best of you. Every day is a chance to look up from the crowd, rise above the ground, take flight. Every day is a chance, oh, to look up from the crowd, rise above the ground, oh, and take the light, oh. Don't let it get the best of you now. Don't let it get the best of you. Oh, don't let it get the best of you. Now, don't let it sing and don't let it get the best of you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some what do you call that? Scales or what do you go?
Thank
That's
you.
cool. Yeah, that's some unexpected. I like that. I like that.
So I want to throw something out too, since I know both of you, and since you're so great and you're so great. I like to put people together to help each other, and my friend here had some heartburn issues earlier.
Well, you're telling me about, I guess,
Yeah.
black seed cumin seed oil.
Yes. So, well, number one thing, since you mentioned the heartburn, let's talk about that first. So, a lot of people that have heartburn, they think it's because they have too much acid, which makes sense because you have this acidic feeling, and it's very uncomfortable. I've had it only a handful of times in my life. I did not like it. It's actually because, in most cases, because your acid is too low.
Very interesting.
The pH of the acid is too low. So the body is smart and the body says we need to bring this acid up. So it keeps making more and more acid. But if the body doesn't have the building blocks to make stronger acid, it keeps making weak acid. And then it keeps saying we need strong acid, make more acid. And then it makes more acid and it's not strong enough. So then it fills you up all the way with weak acid.
Wow.
So with that betadine and pepsin, which is the other bottle that I gave you there, so that increases the pH of the acid in your stomach.
Awesome.
And so don't take Tums that decreases the pH.
I see.
And it will rid you of the acid at the same time that it decreases the pH, which will make your body hit you even more with acid. So the Tums perpetuate the problem.
Well, and speaking of acid, like my voice has that kind of element, and it's because I had an acid attack last night when I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
So it messed up the.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, you don't want that coming up on you. You need it to stay down here.
Yes.
Yeah, and so what you do with those is you want to start at since I would say start 2 or 3 pills. And then every time that's before you have a meal. You always do it right before a meal.
Okay.
And then if you don't notice any adverse effects, like no odd feelings or anything like that, then the next meal you do 4. And if you don't notice any bad effects, the next meal you do 5, 6, 7, 8, because we don't know how low your acid is right now.
Oh, I see.
So we don't know how many of those you need. But now here's the cool part. As you increase the acid in your stomach, it breaks up the food more. Then when it goes into your intestines, the intestines absorb more nutrients.
Oh, very interesting.
So then what you're doing is by increasing that acid, you're giving your body more nutrients. Once your body has more nutrients, it can make better acid without that pill.
Mm,
So it's a way, it's not a pill forever.
I see.
It's to up the acid, eat as well as you can, and then your body will take over and start making the good acid.
So this will more. This is about treating the cause, not just treating the symptom.
It's not hiding a symptom, it's treating the cause. Low stomach pH is the majority. Most people that have acid reflux or have acid coming up is from low acid pH. But even low pH will still hurt you. I mean, our stomach acid, can melt metal.
Wow.
So even when it's weaker than it should be, it's still very
Still very
strong. It's
powerful.
going to tear up your vocal, for
Wow.
sure. So just keep going up and keep going up. And when I have touched the too much level, it doesn't give me heartburn, but it gives me something that I don't like, but not like super bad like heartburn, but it gives me like a little something that I don't like. And then you subtract 2 pills for the next meal.
I see.
And then stick with that. And then if you get something that you don't like with that level, let's say it's 6, and then you have a meal like a week later and you're like, ooh, something, I don't like that. 4. And-
Listen to your body, in other words.
Right.
Listen to what you're
So
feeling.
keep going up until something odd happens, subtract 2, and then stick with that number. Let's say it's 6 pills before every meal. And then, because what that is your body is now making a high enough pH that you don't need the pH boost.
Wow. And so it's training. So will this help you with weight loss? Like, will it
So,
help your body kind of get into a condition where it might lose weight?
well, so if your pH of your acid is low, what happens is when the food comes into your intestines, it can't get through the intestines because the food is too big of chunks. The chunks haven't been micronized enough because the acid
Very
is
interesting.
weak. So as the acid gets stronger, it'll start cleaning out your pipes. So there's also some other things that you can do. Take a magnesium supplement.
Okay.
Now, when you first start taking a magnesium supplement, be at home because it relaxes the bowels.
Okay.
So magnesium citrate is very cheap,
Okay.
and that really goes to the bowels.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So take it at home, and, when you're comfortable.
And always consult your doctor.
Yeah. Don't listen to me. Talk to your doctor.
These days, your doctor may not know about this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean he's that's wrong. It just means that between what your doctor's advising you to do and what you know to do for yourself, kind of may have to split the difference and learn about your own body.
And the pills that the doc will give you for acid turns off your acid pump.
Yes,
Which
correct.
really backs up your system and really will bloat you and put weight on you if you take the doctor prescribed antacids.
Now, what happens when you take baking soda for acid first?
That's like a Tums thing.
I see,
So you're
okay.
knocking down that
I
acid
see.
more, so now your body is going to rebound with. That's temporary relief. That yes, do that, especially as a vocalist. If you do the Tums or the baking soda, but do that before every meal in that protocol, and it'll start going away. I mean, a lot of people I've turned on to that. No one has said it didn't work yet.
Wow.
And black seed oil, that's it does a number of things. It's one of 2 seed oils that are safe to eat. The other one is olive.
Well, speaking of which, I have a bottle of black seed oil. Is that the same thing as this?
What, like something like that?
Yep, it's the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that. Yeah.
Is this the same thing?
Same stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, just
so-
in pill form.
I see.
Yeah. And it jams the ACE2 receptors. It's a potent mucus cleaner. So it loosens mucus, even the mucus in your joints.
Oh, wow.
It helps make your mucus, improves mucus quality all over the body. So if you have a little touch of asthma, that's mucus. So
Oh, okay.
that black seed oil is some of the best stuff.
I saw you drinking it. You were just like, bang.
Yeah, because I've had like a little bit of like wheeze or something. It's real hot, humid, a lot of pollution in Nashville, a lot of pollen in the summer because it's a bowl here. So I was like, I don't know, singing a song with Michael Rix. It helps to coat the throat with the black seed oil. So I was like, I better have some sips of this. I don't want to. I hopefully I sounded all right. I
You
mean,
did sound all right.
I was,
You were more in the style of the way he sang the song, and maybe you just discovered a new vocal coat, uh,
oh, this
just to sing
magic.
for singers, right? Or for
Oh yeah.
speakers.
Well, no, it definitely, like if my voice feels a little weak when I'm speaking,
Yeah,
I do the black seed oil and the strength comes back up
really. So it must bring the inflammation down in your
in the
voice.
throat. That's why I said get you the liquid, not the pill. I
Okay,
just had an extra bottle of the pill, so I
I
gave you
see.
that. But the
I see.
liquid, I kind of like try to almost like gargle it, almost like let it sit in my throat and then
Oh,
swallow it. And it'll tingle and burn a little bit in the throat. But then it's instant relief. Like I still have a little bit of rasp, a little bit of something, but that did help take it down.
very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, black seed oil. But yeah, this is fun, man, and I really appreciate the conversation. Yeah, and I think it's an important conversation. I hopefully other people will do some reaction videos and get into some of the stuff in this song too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Got anything,
Thank you.
Angela?
I'm excited that I love it. I love y'all guys. I
Yeah,
love you all.
love you too.
And Mike
Love you
Ricks.
too. I guess that's a wrap.
Yeah, and cut.